Hello everyone and welcome to Pick Your Secondaries and how to pick secondaries against the Chaos Space Marines, the brand new Chaos Space Marines. So this is a little bit different to what you might have seen from us before. Now this is a free lesson that we're going to be giving out and a bit of a taster of what one of our live lessons that we run every single week on the Vanguard Tactics Academy. So this lesson is called Pick Your Secondaries, and the whole purpose of this lesson is to help you feel more confident when you actually start to get to the table and picking secondaries against certain factions. As you probably know, it can be very, very overwhelming to first of all understand what an army can do, how it plays, and it can be quite intimidating sometimes to actually know what secondaries to pick against that army, because if you haven't read the codex, maybe you're not sure as to what that army can do. So this lesson is going to cover absolutely everything that you need to know in regards to any sort of gotcha moments or anything like that around that army. So we're going to try and teach you the 20% of knowledge that you need to know to get 80% of the results when you actually get to the table. So each week what we do is we cover a different faction, so that over the course of the 17 weeks, and obviously then if you continually stay with us on the Academy after that as part of our community, you get continuation with these live lessons, and then obviously you can tune in and find out more about each and every faction. Now what I've already done, and in our community on our Discord, so for those people on our silver, gold or platinum package, will be able to submit their homework. So what I've done is I've already asked them for what secondaries they would take against my army list. So I'll bring up a mission later. I'll also show you through the army list in terms of how it plays. I'm going to tell you roughly how my army list is put together and what's included. And then I'm going to help you understand what secondaries you need to take against this type of faction. Then what I've also done is all of the students have submitted their homework, so they are going to already have picked their secondaries against me. I'm then going to go through each of those and tell them and give them a little bit of feedback on their secondary picks. So sometimes some of them will be slightly repeated if they play the same faction, or maybe they've picked the same secondaries, but there might be some standout, maybe do not picks against this army. Okay, so we're going to cover absolutely all of that on this show. So hopefully if you're listening and you think, right, okay, actually maybe picking secondaries is a weakness of mine, and it's something that I want to get better at, this lesson is going to really, really help you. And this is a lesson we do every single week on the Academy. Now, as part of that, if you are thinking about joining the Academy, then I am running one-to-one phone calls at the moment on Zoom, so we can have 15 minutes as a discovery call, so you can ask me any questions that you have about the Academy if you're thinking of signing up. You have until Monday, then the doors will be closing, so there'll be no more access to the Academy with all the live lessons and everything else. It will be closing for this intake, okay? So then we can take the people that we have throughout the 17 weeks, make sure there's continuity, accountability, and ensuring that they make really, really good progress over those 17 weeks. Okay, so if you would like to book in for a call with me, and you want to talk to me about the Academy, and I think so far I've done around 20 of these phone calls, and I think everybody that I've had a phone call with, it's not only been an absolute pleasure to speak with them, but they found it really, really valuable before they've signed up, because obviously it is an investment. It's not a £5 kind of product. This is a very, very well thought out course. There's a lot of value in it, and obviously it just gives you a little bit of a chance to actually see behind the curtain, see all the lessons, that they're all there to put you at ease, because I want to make sure that every single person that signs up absolutely loves the Academy, they know what to expect, and also they can get immense value from it, and that is the most important thing. Okay, so like I said, Monday is the last day you'll be able to sign up, so make sure you get booked in for a call with me next week. Okay, so if you have booked on for a call with me, I will honor that call just to make sure that we can go over absolutely everything with you. So without any further ado, let's have a little look at the mission. Okay, so let's bring up the mission here. This is Recover the Relics. Okay, so the Recover the Relics mission, I'll make this a little bit bigger. This is a 6 objective mission that I've given the task today for the students. You need to hold 1 or hold 2. You're going to get 4 points for holding, obviously, 1 objective, 4 points for holding another, 4 points for holding more, and then you score 1 point for each enemy killed in that battle round, okay? For each enemy unit, up to a maximum of 3, and then you're going to pick 3 secondaries. Now, if you note, you only get the CP bonus if you hold a objective outside of your deployment zone, so obviously the 2 there. And obviously the other factor of this mission is that there's only 1 in your deployment zone, okay, in terms of objectives you can actually hold. So I might refer back to this at certain stages. So let's go through the army list. This is my Emperor's Children list. I will be going over this in a lot more detail on our members area. And obviously if you are a silver, gold or platinum member, you also get access to all the members videos as well. That's included, plus all of these 5 live lessons we do every single week. They're all recorded. So for example, the people that have submitted their homework today who can't watch this lesson live will be able to watch it back in our vault that we have on the Academy. Okay, so let me talk you through this army list. This is an Emperor's Children battalion. We've got a Dark Apostle. He's got the ability to give a unit 2 abilities, because obviously with Emperor's Children, everybody's been upgraded to Slaanesh. Now this Dark Apostle has 2 litanies, one which is the ability to give a unit advance in charge, and the other one allows me to pick a unit so it cannot be hit on a 1, 2 or 3, and that also cannot re-roll the hit roll against that unit as well. I've also then given this model the Black Mace, which gives me the ability to carry damage over from its attacks, and it's a flat damage 3 weapon. And it's got the Internal Vendetta Warlord trait, so I can pick an enemy unit and I can re-roll all wounds against that unit within core, or core units within 6 can re-roll wounds against that one unit that's chosen. We've then got the Lucius Eternal, the one and only absolute legend, Lucius the Eternal. He's been given his Warlord trait. Now what that does is it means that you are -1 to attack, -1 attack characteristic when you're in engagement range of him. He makes you fight last, and also he re-rolls his own hit rolls, okay? We've then got a Master of Possession. It gains a Slaanesh keyword. It's got a Pact of Flesh, which means I can heal D3 wounds, and I can also bring back a model per turn as well with its psychic power, and it also can cast another power, which is Delightful Agonies, okay? Then we've got 10 cultists, we've got 5 legionaries, and one of them has been upgraded to have a Bell Tome. Now that Bell Tome allows me to cast Prescience to get +1 to hit, and obviously because it's Slaanesh, it also allows me to cast Delightful Agonies of 5+ Feel No Pain. Then we've got another legionary unit. This is a 9-man unit with a heavy chain axe and a power fist. Diabolical Strength is on this one, and also that same mark of Slaanesh as well. Now the great thing about these sort of -1 to hit weapons like power fists and chain axes, the heavy ones, I'm not going to suffer the -1 to hit with those, because I don't suffer any penalties whatsoever from ballistic skill modifiers or weapon skill modifiers. Then we've got 3 units of Terminators. We've got a power fist on the sergeant, 2 regular power fists and a chain fist, and then accursed weapons. The other thing to note is that the legionaries also have the icons as well to give them +1 to hit. And then finally we've got a Master Executioner in that elite slot. So he's got the Marcus Slaanesh keyword. He's got the Mantle of Traitors, which allows me to use an Epic Deed stratagem for free, and he re-rolls his hits. He then has a Warlord trait to re-roll his wounds, and every successful wound is a mortal wound in addition. We've then got 8 Raptors, and the Sergeant has a Power Fist, and then we've also got a Chaos Rhino. So that is the list, everybody. Okay, that's what you're up against tonight for Pick Your Secondary. So you've just got to the table, we're at a tournament, you're playing Stephen Box, and you're like, right, what's he playing? Right, it's Recover the Relics, and he's got his Emperor's Children. So now at least you're going to know what you need to do, okay? Now, if you have any questions, you can super chat those in and I'll answer those as we go through, but I've got a lot of lists to go through today. Now, if we have a quick look at this, this mission pack, or this mission, should I say, this first secondary that comes to mind that I would suggest is a really good go-to. In fact, before we go on to that, let's have a little look at the secondary points that my army gives up, okay? So my army, and I asked all the students to do this on their homework task, we've got like a really cool document where they fill in all their details. This list gives up 13 points on Assassinate, it gives up 2 points on Bring It Down, it gives 14 points up on No Prisoners, and remember I can bring models back, so that could potentially go to 15. Then I've also got the 12 total units for potentially grind them down, and I give up 7 points on a Bore the Witch, okay? So that is what my list gives up. Now looking at this, Assassinate is fairly easy. None of the characters are too difficult to kill. They're all combat focused, and none of them are massively durable. I'd say the Master Executioner is very easy to kill. The Master of Possession is very easy. Lucius is okay, and Dark Apostle, they're the only ones with a 4+ invulnerable save. But you're looking at about 5 to 6 wounds and only a 3+ save, so nothing's really that durable. So Assassinate is a good option. Bring It Down is obviously dreadful, with only giving up 2 points. No Prisoners, being at 14, can actually be a really nice solid pick. And then finally we've also got the Bore the Witch, which is quite an easy 7. You've only got to kill the Master Executioner and then the 2 Legionary units, and you're going to get that Abhor the Witch for just 7 points, okay? But when we look at the mission, we're probably looking at, first of all, banners. You've got banners is now changed, so you only need to control the objective at the end of your movement phase, then you can raise the banner. So banners for me would be a fantastic secondary, providing you've got an infantry unit that can actually raise the banner. Once those banners are up, they're much easier to hold and keep hold of, and because those 2 are so close to the objective, or your deployment zone, then obviously you should be able to get 3 points on banners consistently throughout this entire game. That's certainly going to be a secondary that I go for, and it fits the game style of the Emperor's Children very, very well. Now, some of the things that you need to know about the Emperor's Children: they have a 6-inch heroic intervention stratagem for either a unit or a character, meaning I can sit at the back of my objective, behind cover, heroically intervene into you and take you off my objective. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing I've got is the ability to stack multiple buffs on my own units in terms of durability. Can't be hit on a 1, 2, or 3, can't reroll the hit roll, and a 5+ feel no pain, and then we can stack that with cover, okay? Then the other aspect in this list that it heavily relies on is fight last. My entire army has fight first because I'm obviously Slaanesh, and then I've got 2 ways to make you fight last. Lucius the Eternal can do it with an engagement range, and then also another character as well can pick a unit and make it fight last also for 2 CPs. And one of those is an epic deed, which I can do for free. So if you get anywhere near my characters, they're going to heroically intervene and make you fight last. So this army has become, on purpose, untouchable in combat to its greatest possible degree, okay? I've put this list together as a real challenge, so if you are a combat-based player, you're going to really, really struggle to actually interact with my army and find it a real big puzzle to unlock in terms of trying to work out the order of the fight phase, and you need to master the fight phase in order to be able to take this army on in combat. So it's going to be a real brain puzzler for people, I think. So that's why banners works really well for me, because I can defend these objectives extremely well, and it's going to prove a really hard job for you to stop me scoring those. So you need to kind of accept banners is going to be a big scoring point for me. Therefore, a great suggestion would be to take banners against me also. Okay, I'm not the fastest. I do have a stratagem called Honor the Prince. It means I can auto advance 6. Remember, I can advance in charge from a priest ability, which means my raptors, and that's why they're in the unit, can move 12, auto advance 6 inches. That's a threat range of 18. Then I could use that stratagem again, and then obviously I'm going to get a 6-inch charge plus a dice roll instead of rolling 2 dice as well. So I'm guaranteeing an 18-inch movement plus 7-inch charge. Okay, that's guaranteed. And that gives me ability to actually get a little bit of reach onto the enemy units. Aside from that, the army is quite slow. So I've got that one wave, that one attack. And then obviously if I start putting units in deep strike, like Terminators, and bringing them down for Honor the Prince, I'm then going to start to lose some of my core buffs, which revolve around the command phase. So it's probably not going to be something I'm going to heavily rely on. Maybe one unit, probably not many more. So that means you can play quite defensive against me, meaning banners could also be a good option for you, and we can go toe to toe with obviously ensuring that you're scoring very well on banners. So if you've got an option for banners, definitely take it. Then we've got, for example, the No Prisoners. this army does die. You know, it's not got the best durability in the world, especially when I'm, you know, having to stretch myself to, you know, try and take you off objectives. I will lose most of my army. So definitely no prisoners is another really, really good result for you, I think, because each turn when I bring a model back, one of my Terminators or one of my other models, again, they still count as models that you've destroyed, and it's just going to increase your tally of destroyed models. Okay, the cultists are very easy to kill, the raptors and all the legionaries are very easy, so I think no prisoners is a really, really good option against me as well. So already, if you've taken banners and no prisoners, you're probably in a very good place. Assassinate is the tricky one. Assassinate is easy to do when you're in combat with me. However, I'm going to make you fight last, and also I'm going to fight first. So I'm probably, because of the damage output of my characters, going to kill yours or your units that are trying to jump in and tackle my characters in combat before they actually get to fight. And I think that is the biggest issue that you're going to face if you go for Assassinate, because I've got basically 24 Terminators that are going to hug these 4 characters and ensure that you can't place a model, that you can't drop in and just make them the closest target. So I think Assassinate is a big mistake. Yes, they're easy to kill, but they're going to be actually very hard to get to. So you've got to get through 24 Terminators with Armor of Contempt, 5+ Feel No Pain, can't be hit on a 1, 2, or 3 before you even get to the characters. And I think if you certainly take Assassinate against me, I'll probably play a little bit more cagey with my characters, all right? And I think that's one thing to really anticipate. I've also got the Rhino, so if late game you haven't killed the Rhino and, you know, it's looking like you might start hurting my characters, I can just put them all in the Rhino, move the Rhino away, and then obviously, you know, you're going to then have to kill the Rhino before you even target the characters. So I think Assassinate is a really, really big trap with this army. I would not take it. So for me, if you've taken something like a the banners and also the no prisoners, that's a really good starting place with the army. And then finally, your third secondary for me might look like something like mental interrogation. I've only got the 1 psyker, the 2 legionary units, so I do have some denies, but there's minimal rerolls. I'm probably not going to bother trying to reroll to deny you. So something like a mental interrogation, as my forward characters do come forward, then you can just make sure you're out of deny range and still do quite well with a mental interrogation. So they would be my 3 best suggestions that you pick against me. But let's have a little look at what some of the students have said and go from there to give you some bespoke feedback. Because obviously now with you know, the changes to the Nephilim, it can be a situation where there might be some other better secondaries, all right? So I'll quickly jump in the chat. Welcome, Brad, to becoming a lieutenant. There's going to be loads of members content for you this week. William said, Filthy Chaos, Hannibal Lecter, hello to everyone. Overwhelming is almost an understatement, especially with the new codex comes out. Yeah, William said, thanks for doing this, no problem. Jill said, won my place through the Miniature Frontier Steam and can't wait to get started. Was put off a few years ago by a couple of players I was against. Would love to get back in and confident. Well, Jill, we'll make sure that we get you that access ready before Monday for you, okay? So don't worry about that, Jill. That'll be something that we'll get you that access for, okay? I think Kerry's passed on your details. I've just got to do the administration for it and get you all in. Brendan said you signed up for silver. That's absolutely awesome. Fantastic. Lorenzo, we've got Ian James, one of our VT coaches here as well. Lorenzo said, he's put $5 in. Hi, Steve. Love your hands-on approach and general VT philosophy. Also looking forward to the VT dice set. Have a good one. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. Really means a lot. Josu just become a lieutenant as well. Thank you so much. Awesome. Right, nice. Okay, cool. Here we go. So, let's have a little look at some of these secondary picks. So the first one is, apologies if I'm looking across there, I've got a big old screen here with my notes on. So I went through everybody's lists earlier and I've got your secondary picks in front of me. Sam Rowlands, he's put his Iron Hands list in. It's an Iron Hands successor and he's gone for Oath of Moment, Banners and Assassinate. So here's the thing, Sam. The Oath of Moment, if we start looking at the table and we look at the mission, you're going to be fighting over basically no man's land. That's exactly what you're going to be fighting over, is no man's land. There's no objectives in the center of the table. So I really think for me, we need to go for something a little bit different. Banners was great. If you've got lots of guns, which I believe you do in your list, you've got some little trading units for combat, which have got the speed to outposition my characters, then obviously, you can easily, pick off my smaller units. So the other option for you would have definitely been no prisoners. I definitely think that would have been a good shout for you, Sam. You've got your, obviously, Captain on Bike and Tech Marine, so no specific Psyker in the list here. You've got plenty of firepower. So I think for me, the other one you probably should go for, you've got the Devastators, the Land Speeders, you've got your Vanguard Vets and a drop pod. Probably just getting engaged in all fronts would have been good enough. Just to use one quarter to keep feeding into, and that would have probably scored you more points than Assassinate. And I think if you make those couple of swaps, Sam, you're going to be in a much, much greater position because you can't really interact with me too much. So you need to try and take that away from me a little bit, and put the ball in your own court, so to speak. So they would be my suggestions. You've got the speed for banners. You've got the speed for engage. Take that. You can definitely do banners. And then obviously no prisoners, because you will kill lots of models, and you should get over 10 points on those. All right. I'm just a little bit concerned about that oath of moment, because as soon as you put yourself in the middle of the table, now you're in my threat range of all my Terminators, the fight last bubbles, and everything else, and I will start to pick up whatever you kind of put in the middle. So I think that might be an issue, because you're kind of coming into the middle. I can then counter with the terrain setup and probably do quite well there. It just makes it a little bit risky. So then we've got Tom. Tom's got his Bloody Rose Sisters. He's gone for Defend the Shrine. He's also gone for Leap of Faith. And he's gone for Raise the Banners. Okay, so yeah, Raise the Banners, absolutely. I think it's a really good pick there. Leap of Faith, also brilliant. Defend the Shrine. This is the one in which I think is a little bit tricky. You have to be sure that I don't threat saturate that one side, which I can do, and I do have the potential to, because that does mean you need to hunker down on one objective really hard, because it's worth so many points. It's just whether you can deal with the wave and waves and waves of Terminators. We actually played this on stream, and I think Jake found this incredibly difficult to actually overcome, was because that one side I pushed in I was just extremely overwhelming on. Again, for you, I probably wouldn't take that. The Leap of Faith you wouldn't be able to take, as well as the no prisoners. So I think we need to start to just open up these aspects a little bit more. And again, you do have the speed in the list, so I think something like an engage could work. But I think the one in which revolves around you sticking with the Defend the Shrine is a little bit risky, because Sisters aren't the most durable units. They really aren't. And if I do push through that one side and I keep pushing through, then I'll take you off that objective. Because remember, I've got a lot of bolt fire, and those bolt guns are brilliant at strength 4 into toughness 3 models. Just the extreme amount of shots will pick up bodies. Even if you're in cover with a 2+ save, many of them will still go through, and you'll just start to dwindle in numbers very, very quickly. So I think that's just the one there I'm a little bit concerned about for you there, is because I can threat saturate with those 24 Terminators. And if I've used my things like the Raptors quite well, I can hopefully tackle some of the multi-melty units that might actually pose a threat to those Terminators. So that's my slight worry, is the Defend the Shrine option. And if there's anything else we can take instead, may just work a little bit better. All right, but I think Raise the Banner's good, Leap of Faith good, one more, and potentially something like even an Abhor the Witch for an easy 7, but it's just whether we think we can get 10 points out of Defend the Shrine. That's the only one there. If you think you can definitely do more than 10, then stick with it. Otherwise, maybe look for something like a Behind Enemy Lines or Engage in all fronts, okay? Okay, next up, we've got Harry and his Orcs. He's got Get the Good Bits. He's got his Grots that can just walk onto objectives, which is fantastic. I really, really like that, because they're so close to your deployment zone. I agree, and you can do that for the first 3 turns. The Green Tide, again, looking at your army, you've got a huge amount of boys. You've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 15 boys, 2 units of Gretchen, Burner Boys, Commandos, Mega Knobs, Storm Boys. You've got a huge amount of boys. So I think, the Green Tide, aiming between 10 at least with that, it's going to be really achievable. And I really like the way you've described each one, and you've gone into a little bit of detail how you'd score that. So I agree the Green Tide's going to be a really good pick for you. Get the good bits, absolutely, and then also the biggest and the best, trying to get 10 VPs. And I think Gaz is fantastic in this role. He can easily hold an objective outside of your deployment zone, obviously, because all of them are. That's going to be 2 points a turn. So that's basically a minimum of 10 guaranteed. And then even if I do push a little bit harder, you can pick up some more points. So Harry, with your Orcs, mate, I think they are some absolute fantastic picks, okay? Absolutely awesome. So if you've just joined us recently, this is one of our free academy lessons that we do on the course. We do it every single week. We pick a different faction where we basically help you discover the secondaries you need to take against the army. Now, also, if you want to book in for a one-to-one call with me, a discovery call, if you're considering about joining the academy, I'll put the link in the description. You can book on my link on my calendar, book in for a call with me. We can go through absolutely everything about the academy. I can show you behind the scenes, all the lessons, and we just have a really good chat, really. And I think for the people that have signed up so far, it's been really, really helpful for them. And we've had a great time throughout those calls. So if you are considering the academy, you've got until Monday. I've just put the link in the chat right now. So Castellan's just become a lieutenant. Thank you so much. JXF50, I'm signing up with that too. That's brilliant that you're coming with the silver option. Castellan, quick hello and enjoyed last night's stream. Steve, hope you're well after all the Simon... we're not going to talk about that, okay? We're not going to talk about the Simon Cowell jokes. Cool. Next up, who have we got? We've now got Toby and his Black Templars. So he's gone for the accept any challenge. Okay, and then we've also got the Assault Doctor in turns 1 and 2 has been pretty useful with Armour of Contempt. Oaths of Moment, obviously won't be able to fall back. We've then got so that was his first secondary pick. His secondary pick is Assassinate, lots of characters. This is the issue, I think, in R&D. So, Toby, banners would definitely be a better option for you. 100% better option for you with banners rather than R&D, okay, with your list. You've got plenty of infantry that can just move out and do that. Assassinate, I think, is going to be your issue because, yes, you've got the Judicer for a little bit of fight last, but because I also have fight first, it then puts us at a point where we both fight, well, we both essentially fight as if neither of us charged, and therefore I'll get the upper hand there. So I don't think Assassinate's probably going to be a good one. Again, something like No Prisoners would be better. And then you've gone for something like Oaths of Moment. Well, with the Black Templars, if you've got lots of OBSEC and you've got a good bit of speed in combat, maybe have a little look at Shock Tactics, where you've got to just take an objective that I already hold. So it's kind of like Stranglehold in a way, I would say, like you're just trying to dominate on an objective. So I would probably go for you something like, that one. We've then also got the banners, and then we got No Prisoners, and they would be the 3 that I would go for if you're a Black Templar army. All right? Nice and simple. But Toby, what I do really like is your list. I think is absolutely awesome. You've got all the cool guys in there, the Blade Guard, the Judicer, you've got Redemptors, Terminators with Thunderhammers and the rest of it. So yeah, I really, really like it, Toby. It's a really cool list and I absolutely love Black Templars. Okay, so next up we got David, and he's got his 1,000 Suns. He's gone for Mental Interrogation, which I absolutely agree with on that one. Psychic Interrogation, there's not a huge amount I can do to really deny that, as we mentioned earlier. Raise the Banners, fantastic. Wrath of Magnus is in No Mercy, No Respite as well. And he's predicted that he's going to get 12. And that's the other thing we ask you to do, is have a little prediction as to kind of what you're aiming for. And again, I think that's really good. Wrath of Magnus being able to do more mortal wounds. So again, something like Wrath of Magnus or the No Prisoners, depending on you. depending on your ability to do mortals to me and get around my negatives to hit, could be a really, really good option for you as well, and just focus on killing models. But if you feel like Wrath of Magnus is easier, then go for that. And I think there are 3 fantastic picks against me. You know, with your list of your Araman, Exalted Sorcerer, Infernal Masterer, you know, 3 units of Rubrics, 2 units of Zangors, Terminators, Shamans, Spawns, and some Forge Fiends as well. So I think you've got some good tools in there to certainly execute those secondaries, David. I think there's some fantastic picks. Right. Alexander Brown said, I'm loving the Academy so far. Thank you so much, Alex. Real pleasure. Thank you so much for your kind words. Johnny Clark, he's got his Black Templars with his new list, with his 3 power fists he's put in here. He's bathed in blood. Helbrecht selects the Master of Possession. Okay. So the Master of Possession, so if you're going to go and select this character to kill, the Master of Possession, yes, he's the easiest character to kill, but he's not the one I'm going to get in combat. The one I'm going to get in combat is Lucius, and the other one I'm going to get in combat is also my Master Executioner. So you need to think about what I want to do, what I want to play. Think about my game and select them, so then it says, Steve, you want to put Lucius into combat. You want to get your Master Executioner into combat. If you do, you're going to sacrifice potentially 15 victory points. And then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that now. So all of a sudden, I need to weigh up when I use these characters. Lucius and the Master Executioner are both essential to my game plan, and they both die so quickly. The Master Executioner I can keep in the back. Okay, he can stay way behind all those Terminators and doesn't need to get anywhere near the front. So I would probably, Johnny, I can see you changing your homework right now, which I like. But I can see you typing in the Google document here. But yeah, obviously it's fantastic for you to make those notes as obviously you're learning already, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, I think Lucius or the Master Executioner, either one of those. Just don't send Helbrecht in first. Make sure you can kind of draw them out, let them use their fight last abilities, then send them in. And I'd probably pick the Master Executioner. He's easier to kill than Lucius. Then we got pick 2, carry out any vow, and then banners. So carry out any vow. Let me just quickly remind myself of that one. Again, I would probably just take no prisoners. Again, just go for constant damage against the army. Start whittling it down where you can. Take models off the table. That's something I would probably look to do. We just got to make sure that they don't clash together, okay, with your already bathe in blood, which I believe is a purge the enemy one anyway, so you're probably fine. Deathwatch, Black Templars, yeah, purge is bathe, carry out your vow. At the end of the battle, score 3 points if you basically selected. Okay. Right, so it depends on the vow that you're going to go for. That I think that's the issue there. I don't have 20 more wounds. So you selected Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch vow, and 1 or more Psyker character units were destroyed. Okay, cool. So I think this is the issue one here. You've got obviously the progressive point where you score 4 victory points at the end by units destroyed by melee. Okay. The thing is, this is going to be a big trap for you, Johnny. Do not go for carry out your vow, because I will kill, potentially, with the amount of fight last I have in my army, I'm probably going to kill more units of yours in combat than you're going to kill of mine, because you're going to charge me. Now, even if I don't have a fight last, we get to interrupt. So you kill a unit, I kill a unit. So we're going to be 1 for 1. And then what's going to happen is if I do have a fight last, you're going to move in, I'm going to make you fight last, and I'm going to kill you before you kill me. So do not go for the carry out any vow, just go for no prisoners instead, all right? In that case, you're pretty much in a much better position. So Johnny, hopefully that helps, mate. Okay, Josh and his Tau, he's gone for no prisoners, perfect. Decisive action, yes, I think that's a really good option there. Waiting for those sort of latter turns. Yeah, and then also retrieve Nephilim data. Again, maybe go for banners, because if we think about the way that on this deployment zone, it's much easier for me to actually screen out my backfield because of the way that the deployment zone is. and I'm going to keep my Terminators fairly in a nice long line against my deployment zone, and therefore they can screen out 9 inches back, 9 inches forward, meaning it's going to be really, really hard to actually get into my deployment zone. So I would go for banners rather than R&D, but apart from that, Joshua, I think they're fantastic picks with your no prisoners and your decisive action. I think they're really strong. Just change that Nephilim for going with a banners instead would definitely be a better option. And it starts to really, push me out in terms of threaten me to actually draw my army out, okay? Because I have to try and maybe stop you scoring. Rather than R&D, you're letting me deny you while staying where I want to be, and that's behind cover and hiding. So Stephen McCraig has got his Dark Angels, he's got Death on the Wind, Engage in all fronts, and also Assassinate or Codex Warfare. Again, they're not going to be good picks against me because I'll kind of dominate the combat phase, so don't take probably either of those. Although they're not very durable, they're durable in the fact that they'll be hidden. So I really like the the Death on the Wind, that's great. I think Engage in all fronts is also fantastic. And then just go for, depending on where this one then fits in, I just don't know if you've got another third secondary that isn't going to clash. So what was I thinking? Let's see where the Dark Angels start to fit here. Dark Angels, purge the enemy is martial. You've got Stubborn Defiance. Death on the Wind is no mercy, no respite. That's going to conflict with no prisoners, so that's no good. You can't take banners because you don't have any infantry models. So this might be a list change that you might want to amend. And obviously you've got a complete, Ravenwing army here. But is there any way we could just add in some infantry units, or maybe like an Inquisitor into this list would just give you a little bit of extra, psychic potential? For 100 points, you could also put some Voidsmen of Arms in just to move forward in banner. So I think having a little bit of extra units here just to fill out your kind of just improving your action economy in this list would really, really help. I mean, if you drop one unit of like Bike Squad or one Land Speed of Vengeance, you'll be able to start to fit this in. I mean, this is just an out and out just killy shooting list. It's absolutely crazy with the amount of damage it can do. But I just worry about its action economy ever so slightly. If you're really committed that you can literally table the army and you've got enough guns to do so, then maybe you are going to be fine with Assassinate, because you will probably kill everything on the table anyway with this style of list, Stephen. So it might be something you can do. Just obviously we try to help you have slightly more well-balanced army lists. This is very much all or nothing in terms of its speed and its firepower, but not going to be particularly great at taking a hit. Okay, so just make sure your movement is absolutely key. Okay, so now we've got Brad, and he's got his Chaos Knights. He's got Ruthless Tyranny, no prisoners, and a fitting challenge. So with these Chaos Knights, we've got, let's have a little look here just to make sure there's no clashes, because sometimes they obviously do. And remember, you can't take them from the same category, although you can take more than one from the same faction now, which is a really cool change. Chaos Knights, here we go. Ruthless Tyranny is a battlefield supremacy, so that's all about having your units under dread range, which is really good for the Chaos Knights. You've got the Storm of Darkness, which you haven't gone for, which is the Shadow Operations one, and then Path of Destruction. Again, that's a no mercy, no respite. You haven't gone for that one either, but hey, that's not a problem. So no prisoners is good. A fitting challenge, that's a Purge the Enemy. Okay, so this is the one I'm concerned about, because this is allowing me to dictate when I lose my units, and I think this is the issue. Okay, you've obviously got to identify the 3 units from my army that are the most valuable, and I think it's going to be quite tricky for you to actually deal with the Chaos my Chaos Terminators, just because of the amount of fight last. It's going to constantly rely on you shooting them. You've got a Desecrator, you've got some Executioners here with the autocannons, but their minus isn't going to do a huge great against me. Few Huntsmans, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Huntsmans, So the Dragon Spears are good, and the Moiraxes with the Lightning Locks probably don't have enough AP to really hurt the Terminators. So that's my only concern there. Okay, I would probably go for something like a Storm of Darkness instead. And again, I think you can play that a little bit more defensively. Okay, but no prisoners. I really like. Let's just make sure, yeah, because that's a shadow operation, so that would fine, and that's going to fit perfectly. So let me know if you've got any questions. Demarcus said, I've been with the Academy for a while. Pick Your Secondaries is a great lesson. I've learned a lot from it, and missions on how to approach them. Tristan, thanks so much, Tristan. Really, really appreciate that. Brennan said, I wonder if there are many other Grey Knight students. There's actually quite a lot of Grey Knights fans in the Academy. Oh, I've still got the mission up. Let's get rid of that. We don't need to see that anymore. Cool. Auric Protagonis said, hey man, great to see another live video. Hope you're well. Just wondering to know if you have any Indian or bungalow secondaries. Any Indian? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Right, okay, cool. So let's go on to the next one. We've got Orcs. This is Luke's. Luke's gone for retrieve Nephilim data. You're going to use his 2 units of 5 commandos. He said he's going to buy some more to get him up to units of 6, which is great. He's also got the Green Tide, which again we've already discovered is fantastic. And then we've got the biggest and the best, which again is going to be fantastic for Gazgul. Now I do really like the good bits one. I do like that a lot, especially if you've got some obviously Gretchen in the army, because they could just do that at the end of the turn. I would also potentially consider adding in some looters just for that one job. I really would. But I think with your army, you know, having the commandos, if you go first, you're probably going to be able to get 8 points on R&D. Without that, you're going to be really, really relying on those Storm Boys to do the rest of it for you. So I think my only weakness here out of all of these is retrieve Nephilim. So in that case, I'd go for banners instead. Okay, just swap that one straight out, Luke, and go for banners instead. So although you've built your army for retrieve Nephilim data, you don't always have to use it. Okay, you can always you know, just pick one that's, and this is what we want to help you with, is understand the mission more so than just because you've designed your army in a particular way. You shouldn't feel forced to have to go for that one. All right. Bruce has said, did I miss the Grey Knights or Imperial Knights secondaries part of this discussion? Not yet. William has said, what secondaries would recommend for basically null combat force like AdMech? Again, like banners, no prisoners, anything like that would be brilliant. But yeah, having the access to psychic secondaries is super strong. So I think you want to make sure you're including some of those. So Ben H has got his Chaos Knights. He's gone for Ruthless Tyranny. Love that. Storm of Darkness, brilliant. And no prisoners. Fantastic. Love those. Obviously, they would have been the recommendations I made earlier to the other Chaos Knights player that we went over. So I think, yeah, obviously those 3 picks are probably my faves for Chaos Knights. I think they're really strong. We will probably start to see a little bit of, you know, repetitive armies here, but obviously I'm not going to repeat myself too much because that feedback is pretty viable for most of these different lists, even if there's subtle changes in army list design. Okay, it's more the play style are very similar. So Marcel's gone for his Genestealer Cult. He's gone for Brood Swarm, which I really like. It's fantastic to just be all over the table. We've got Retrieve Nephilim data. Again, banners just might be a better option on this mission in particular. But the Genestealers are so good at doing it, being able to drop in within 3, you know, manipulate the range of where they come in. So I think actually, if anybody can do it, maybe the Genestealers can. All right. And then Psychic Interrogation, absolutely brilliant. I think that's a really, really good third pick there for you, and something you'll score very, very well. So yeah, on the whole, I think that's a fairly decent picks there. I think that's one of the best things about Genestealer Cult. Their secondaries do put them in a really good place, although, you know, they might not be the biggest, hardest hitting army in the game, but certainly their ability to score is absolutely brilliant. Then we've got Chris Cunning. He's got his quick analysis. Where's his... Oh, what have we got here, Chris? Oh, he's got his Dark Angels. He's gone for Stubborn Defiance. This is quite good for, obviously, this mission in particular is good for Dark Angels because the objectives now need to be outside of the deployment zone. Both of these are, so I think that's quite good. So that's Battlefield Supremacy. So I think, yeah, Stubborn Defiance is going to be good for the Dark Angels. Raise the banners high, absolutely, and grind them down. Okay, this is the issue, I think. I love the diagram you've added in, by the way. I love the drawing you've made with what what you're going to have as your non-negotiable. I love the fact that you've labelled it and you're telling me where you're going to deploy your armies, where your kill zone is. You've got Azrael, Ezekiel, Ravenwing, Apothecary, Champion, Black Knight, Blade Guard Veterans, Deathwing Terminators, Relic Terminators, Contemptor Dreadnoughts. So I think really just go no prisoners. Rather than grind them down, don't risk it, okay? Do not risk it because, again, I can go in, make you fight last and start picking up some of your bigger blocks because I can really manipulate the combat phase, okay? So just make that subtle change and you're going to be in for the win. Mark D, he's got his Chaos Knights, he's got the Ruthless Tyranny, yeah, no prisoners, brilliant, and then a fitting challenge. Again, swap that one out for the Storm of Darkness. Because otherwise I'm going to play really, really defensively with those Terminators, which is what I want to do anyway. And I'm going to just, limit your ability to kill all those three, okay? And remember, I can start to bring some of those models back, which is going to make it really, really hard for you to actually score that third secondary. So Matt has got his Raven Guard successor. He's got Secure or Sabotage, 15 if he goes first, minimum 9 if everything goes wrong, and I only do 3 objectives. Well, there we go, Matt. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant that you've got your sort of minimum and maximum. I like the way that you've put that in there. You've gone for Assassinate. This is the issue, okay? I do really think this is the issue that you're probably going to have. So this is the one that I'm kind of concerned about. No prisoners yet, great. Secure or Sabotage. Now, is that, if not, just go for banners and it's a much, much easier pick for you, I think, with your army. Let me just check where Secure and Sabotage fit into the pack here. Obviously, there's so many new secondaries for me to remember. It is a Shadow Operations. Okay, schools, you can't take that. So what do we do? What do we do in this situation? I don't like Assassinate. You've got a Librarian. That's what you go for. You go for Psychic Interrogation. And I just think that's going to be much, much safer for you than Assassinate, Matt, all right? Trust me on that one. That's exactly what I would do, okay? So, Tristan, he's got his Red Corsairs Battalion. Love it. Warp Ritual, brilliant. Yeah, I think, Warp Ritual, not so great anymore, though. Obviously, go for your, not Warp Ritual, but Psychic Interrogation. I think that's going to be good because if you come anywhere near the centre, I'm going to get you out of it. Then obviously you've gone for no prisoners, which you've already said in banners. So yeah, just swap out your Warp Ritual for Mental Interrogation and Tristan. I think they are some really solid picks there. Let's have a little look at your list. You've put 55 points into Summer Herald of Sinch for Warpcraft. Okay, cool. 6 Furies for R&D. Yeah, some nice little extra elements there. That's pretty cool. Dark Apostle, Master of Possession. Yeah, nice. Warlord and Terminator Armor. Cultists, Legionaries. So yeah, you've got the big units of bikes in there. Love that. I think bikes and Red Corsairs are certainly the way to go. I think they've got some really cool shenanigans. We cover that on our core Chaos list when we cover all of the core Chaos combos. We'll start looking at some of those units as they're really, really strong. Okay, so next up is Joe Wheaton. He's gone for Raven Guard. Warp Ritual, again, I think... I think what I would do here is go for Psychic Interrogation. Engage in all fronts. We'll have a look at your army, but I'm not sure. Engage, depending on how fast your army is. Secure or Sabotage, yeah, that's fine. So let's have a little look. You've got 3 units of Incursors. Okay, 3 Invictus, yeah. Reavers, Suppressors, Eliminators, yeah. Yeah, Joe, you are going to be absolutely fine with Engage in all fronts. All of that stuff can be scoring for you. So yeah, I think, in the fact that you could literally be anywhere you want on the table is going to be brilliant for you as well. So yeah, love all that. Fantastic picks. James Dorsey's got his Death Guard. He's gone for no prisoners, spread the sickness and raise the banners. Okay, is raise the banners in the same as spread the sickness? Because if it is, then we can't take it. So let's just check that. And that's exactly why we do this lesson, so that we can help you ensure that, you know, when you actually get to the table, you're like, oh yeah, I remember doing that lesson. Steve said that it was in the same category and I can't pick those. So yeah, spread the sickness and banners are both shadow operations. Okay, so what would happen here, James, is if you got to a tournament, you wouldn't be able to have, so let's say you revealed no prisoners, then you spread no, you said, okay, I'm going to take spread the sickness, and then you said raise the banners. Well, unfortunately, you'd be forced to take one of the generic ones, such as you know, assassinate or behind enemy lines or grind them down. One that you wouldn't be able to take grind them down, so you'd have to probably take assassinate here, which isn't going to be particularly good for you, or behind enemy lines. So just make sure, swap out that spread the sickness, because banners is probably better, and take mental interrogation, because you should have a, yeah, you got a plague caster in here, you're fine. Yeah, psychic interrogation and you're good to go. Okay, but look, that's why we do this lesson, is so that obviously you know, we can kind of catch you out in the lesson rather than you getting caught out at the tabletop, and that's the whole purpose of these lessons. Mark, so welcome Mark to the Academy. I know we spoke the other day. It's great to see you jumping in on these lessons so soon already. So you've gone for decisive action with your Tau. I think that's great. Montcard built list, so pushing forward early. Yeah, nice. I certainly like to play my army late game as well, so I think that's good, trying to get an early foothold in the game. Retrieve Nephilim data. Again, banners is probably better, just for you to really start to get on those. And no prisoners. Again, I think that's brilliant. I think no prisoners is a really good pick. You've got breaches, strike teams, crisis suits, riptides, all the things that I do not like. Basically, my army does not like getting shot. It wants to be in combat, and that's exactly what it does best. Okay. So, next up we've got Derek Fisher with his Drakari. He's gone for banners. I think I really like that. And again, really great justifications. Herd the Prey. Yeah, good. Really, really good for a cagey game against me. I'm quite slow. So Herd the Prey is brilliant. And you've gone for Take Them Alive. He said the best option for me here, I think, is there are few characters. They'll be running at me. Hopefully I can kill them with Space Marines and the variety. Yeah, obviously, you know, you've got the options for, you know, your own fight last in different elements like that as a Drakari player. You can't take the psychic base secondary. So yeah, I think either Take Them Alive is probably going to be the best one, or again, no prisoners. I think any of those two for you is going to be the way forward. I think that's really nice. It's actually good that you've got Herd the Prey in here. It's like a Battlefield Supremacy secondary, because they're actually becoming rarer now. We've lost Stranglehold, and Engage becoming so much harder. So I think having a good secondary there is brilliant. Now we've got Alex. He's gone for his Dark Angel, Stubborn Defiance, Raise the Banners, as we've already spoke about, and then you've gone for Assassinate. Again, that's probably my biggest worry here. You've got a Chaplain on Bike, your Talonmaster and Cursors, Deathwing Terminators. There's no Psyker in the list, so none of those. I just don't know what that third secondary starts to look like. You've got plenty of shooting here. But you know, yeah, I would go for no prisoners, definitely no prisoners. You've certainly got the guns to start removing some of my models and really start to put the hurt on me. So I believe that's everyone. Guys, that is the lesson. I've done that in 56 minutes. I've done well. So anyway, look, I really hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. This is something that we do every single week for you as part of being on the Academy. If you are considering the Academy as an option to help you improve your confidence in the game and just help you, you know, actually get your models on the table, use the models you love, be able to finish games much faster, and just be able to just enjoy the entire process. I've put a link in the chat now, and it's also in the description. You can book in a one-to-one call with me, and you can find out a little bit more about the Academy and if it's right for you, to make sure it is a worthy investment, to make sure you're going to get fantastic value out of it. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I need to get a drink now, as I've literally not stopped talking for the last hour. But honestly, it's been, thank you. Well, Brad just said thank you so much. Yeah, no worries. Jill said, really good to see how these go. Jill will get you signed up by Monday for the Academy, don't you worry. So that's going to be awesome. But anyway, guys, I want to say a massive thank you for tuning in tonight, joining me on your Thursday evening. I'm not sure who else is around, but you know, or having a great weekend, or what you're doing. But I really hope you have a fantastic time, whatever it is that you're doing. I'm down at an event in Bournemouth, which I'm really looking forward to playing in. I'm using the Blood Angels, so that's something I'm going to be really excited to take to get another army out. And if you haven't watched yesterday's live stream with me versus Jake for his birthday, go and check it out. It was an awesome stream. And we've also got we've got on Liam Dempsey channel, we've also got Liam versus Brom. So you could check that out if you want to watch some 40k right now. Go over and say in their chat where you've come from, that you've just watched our Pick Your Secondaries, and go and watch Liam versus Brom with the Ultramarines versus Harlequins, and say hello from me. So anyway, right, have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Okay, take care. Thanks so much, and book in for those calls, and I'd love to speak to you about the Academy. Take care.